Alright, so this video is going to cover tables 2.1 to 2.3. In the new Grammar and Context book, we're going to be starting on page 43 if you want to follow along. So the first thing we want to talk about with the present continuous is the form of it, basically how it's formed. Most of you guys are already familiar with this, so this should just be a review. So the present continuous is formed with two words. There's the helping verb, which is this case is the verb to be, and then what is called the present participle. Often it's referred to as the verb plus ing. So these two come together to form the present continuous tense. The verb to be takes three forms: am, is, and are. Depending on what the subject is. Just like the verb to be could be formed in contractions before when it was used by itself, it can be formed into contractions even when it's used with the present continuous. So if we look at the examples here, it says they're playing cards, which is they are, and the R is contracted. Jack's taking a tour and he's asking questions. Remember that the rules for contractions still apply, so words that end in those s or ch kind of sounds can't be contracted, and also plurals can't be contracted. We can also contract the verb to be in the negative. So Jack isn't doing yoga, or most people aren't watching. Or we can contract it with the subject. So I'm not playing tennis. Okay, so this is just sort of a review. So what I'd like you to do right now is just to pause the video with these words and just take a second to practice turning these sentences into the present progressive tense. So he, and then change take into the correct form of the present progressive tense. Okay, and then when you're done, unpause the video and I'll go over the answers to each one of these. Alright, so the first one is going to be he is taking a tour. He is singular, third person, so it's going to be is, and then we turn take into taking, the ing form of it. Some people are dancing. People is plural, so that's why we have are. We change dance to dancing. Jerry isn't reading, so this was a negative, so we're contracting the is and the not to make isn't. Another possible answer is Jerry's not reading. Either one of those would be correct. It isn't raining right now, and again we could contract the verb to be with it, so we could say it's not raining right now. We are practicing continuous tense. Okay. And in this case, if we wanted to contract it, we could also say we're practicing continuous tense. And the last one here is you aren't listening. Okay? So moving on to the uses of it, what I have up here is slightly different than what you have in your book, if you have the new book, but this is the information from the old book. Now, the way that most of us have learned the present continuous tense is this first explanation of it, saying that it's an action in progress at this moment. This is what we mainly learn. It can also be used to describe a state or condition you can observe right now. So the difference between those two definitions is just that the first one, some people are dancing now, refers to an action, something that's ongoing. In the second one, where we say Mary Dodge is standing over there right now, there's not really any action in the sense that she's moving. But in both cases of these, we're talking about something that is going on right now. So at least for our class purposes, we're just going to refer to this as one group together and talk about it as right now, what's going on right now. The second one is one you may not be familiar with the meaning of, but I'm sure you've probably heard it used. Basically what it is it means a long-term action in progress. By long term, what we mean is something that is going to take more than, the immediate instant. That's not going to be over soon. And normally, long term, we're talking of something that's going over, days, weeks, months, maybe even years. So Judy is meeting new people. That's not something that's just going to happen today, but it's going to happen repeatedly over a long period of time. So that's what we mean by long-term in progress. Now the last meaning is something that most folks are unfamiliar with. Most ESL students are unfamiliar with. And this is using the continuous tense to describe a change in behavior in society. Now the difference between this and the other two is that the first ones, both the action in progress right now and the long-term in progress, is in reference to a specific person or people or thing. So in this case, some people are dancing now. We should be able to see who those people are. Mary Dodge is standing over there. We can see who she is. In the third one again, Judy is meeting new people. We can identify who that person is. But when in this last one, more and more retired Americans are looking for a second career. We're speaking much more generally, and we're talking about a change that's going on in all of society. That's not a change that's just going on with one person or a set group of people, but it's something that's going on with all of the country or all of the people in a certain area. Okay, so let's practice that. So go ahead and pause this video right now, and what I want you to do for each one of these 1 through 6 is to identify what meaning or what use is being used. So A is an action in progress right now, and so again we're focusing there, meaning that it's happening right now. It could be an action or a state. The second one is going to be the long-term action in progress. So remember, that's something that is something that's happening repeatedly over months, days, or years. And then the last one is a change in behavior in society. So the difference in that one is that the focus is not on an individual, but on all of the people in a country or a town or an area, but a big group of people. All right, so let's go over the answers to these. Now the first one here, people are living longer. Now this one is talking generally about people in society or in the country, or you could say all over the world. So this is a change in behavior in society. I'm taking ESL 21. Now this one might be tricky. You might think, well, that's an action in progress right now. But if you think of it, it's really long-term in progress. Our course is almost 4 months. So it's something that's happening it's happening repeatedly over a long period of time. So that's going to be long-term action in progress. We are studying the continuous tense. Now this one again could be, you could say A and you could also make an argument for B, but I'm going to focus on A right now because what I meant by this is that right at this moment we're studying the continuous tense. Once you turn off this video and you're done with the video, you're not going to be studying it. But you could also make the argument that we're going to study it over several days, so you could say it's long-term action in progress. The cost of a college education is going up. Now that is a change in society, right? It's not specific to any one person. This is to a whole group of people. I'm listening to the teacher. That would be something you're doing right now, right? An action in progress right now. That's not going to be going over repeatedly over and over a long period of time. I'm planning to buy a house. So this one is long-term action in progress. This is not something that you're going to do right away, but it's going to take several weeks, several months, maybe even up to a whole year. All right, so then the last thing that we want to talk about in this video is about the formation of questions. Now here's this chart again that I keep on going on about and yelling at you about to make sure you memorize. But it really is useful to know this. The first thing we're always going to have in a question not always, it's not required, is a question word or phrase. Then we're going to have the helping verb, then the subject, then the negative if it's there, base form of the verb, and then the complement if it's there. So in with the present continuous tense, you have two verbs, and remember, anytime that you have two verbs, one of them is a helping verb. So the first one is the helping verb. So the sentence would be, he is designing a house. So the helping verb is, so we're going to put that at the beginning, and it'll be, is he designing a house? When we add what to it, we're going to put that question word first, and then is still goes with the helping verb slot, and he is the subject, and it becomes, what is he designing? Then we have, are they taking biology? Again, are is the helping verb. Then we have, why isn't she dancing? So we can also remember, if the verb to be is contracted, we can put it in the helping verb space. If we don't contract it, the not has to go into the negative space. So it would be, why is she not dancing? Or why are you not using the computer? So just like before, what I'd like you to do here is just to pause for a second, pause the video for a second, and write out these 5 questions. So change these ones into questions. In some of the questions, you're going to need to remove some of the information that's in the sentence because the question word is asking about the information in that sentence. All right, so our first one here, Judy is having more fun now, is going to be, why is Judy having more fun now? Okay, so we put the helping verb, we put the why, the question word first, and then the helping verb is, subject Judy, and then the having in the verb space. So Judy is traveling to new places. So we're asking where. So we're going to remove the new places, and we'll say, where is Judy traveling to? Now, one of the old rules of English was that you should not end a sentence with a preposition. So if you had been taught by a prior teacher that this question should be, to where is Judy traveling, that's also correct. To where is Judy traveling is just a much more formal way of saying it. In spoken English, you'll often hear people put prepositions at the end of a sentence. In formal writing, technically it should be at the beginning. So this one would be, what kind of career are you starting? We're going to take away the new. You could also include the new if the answer is something different than this. What are some seniors studying? And the last one is, why is your father thinking about retirement? Okay, so go ahead and make any notes that you need, and bring any questions that you have to class, and we'll see you then. Take care. Bye.